Hey gorgeous, welcome back to Life and Style. Today's video is going to be my weekly plan with me. This weekly plan with me is a special one and it's going to be a very chatty one. This week marks 5 years since I had a lumpectomy for breast cancer. So I thought that I would use a breast cancer awareness kit for this week to mark that occasion. This kit, which we'll go through, is from 472 in Maine. So first, this is a little freebie that just goes along with the kit, and hopefully this camera will focus. So there's that. And then I have the glitter headers here, which are gorgeous. And then this is the whole kit. These are your full boxes and some quarter boxes, ombre heart checklist boxes, and then smaller checklist boxes down here. You have 2 sidebar weeklies, a bunch of half boxes, flags, habit trackers, day off, payday, bill dues, and your Hello Weekend banner. And just to let you know, this kit is glossy if you haven't noticed that already. Then you have heart checklist flags, your headers, canceled, nope, rescheduled, some teardrops, flags, lots of functional icons, some more flag quarter boxes, and some more small flags here. This is a very, very full kit, which is really nice. Then you have a bunch of headers here, your little things. Sorry, that was my phone. I've got to silence that. Washi strips and your bottom washi here, which is very pretty. And then your date covers, number date covers, a bunch of functional icons, smaller functional icons, which is really nice. Movie marquee, and then a bunch of other 3 quarter boxes there. So again, you have a lot of things in this kit. I am going to pull in some more elements just to kind of elevate the special meaning of it, I guess. I've got a lot of icons and scripts and things that I just really, really like, so I'm just going to add them into this week's spread. This week's plan with me is also taking place, if you will, in my new Erin Condren Life Planner. I'm not going to go through it because I think everyone has seen them. There's so many videos out there doing like EC unboxings and that sort of thing. But I got it when it was 25% off. They just had a sale, plus I had a coupon for, I want to say, $10 off. So I got it at a really good price. I kept the coils just silver so I didn't have to pay the extra money. It's $10 if you want, I think, black, rose gold, or gold. I really wanted the rose gold, but again, I wanted to keep the cost down. And I also did add, just so that you know, the extra month, so I wasn't starting in January because I really wanted to start using this now. So we've got a bunch of unused months, which is fine, no big deal. So we're going to roll into October, and we're going to be doing the week of October 1st through the 7th. One thing I will say, and I'm sure it's been said in videos before, I noticed that when people are using the older ones, you have like those 2 flags here, and a lot of the kits come with flags to cover those up. And I believe there are some other changes. Again, this is my first EC, so I can't necessarily speak to what those changes are, except the flags. I definitely can notice that right off the bat. But I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to use it to plan with. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I do want to do is start with the bottom washi. I think that's a quick and simple way to get started. And then also with the day covers here. I'm not sure. I may just use the date covers here. I like usually stickers that are clear, like number stickers, but that's fine. I may just use them. It's just 1 week, so it's not a big deal. But I'm going to start with the bottom washi here, and then we can move on from there. So I was 37 when I actually self-diagnosed. I had been, that day, it was a little after my 37th birthday. And that day, I had only worked part-time for whatever reason that day. I got home and I took a shower, I think because it was just really warm. And I usually use like a poof, you know, to take a shower with. And when I'm washing under my breasts, I usually just use the poof. So I'm not necessarily feeling, you know, with my hands. And I am that person, which I am not that person anymore, who unfortunately did not always do my self-breast exams when I was supposed to monthly. So I was showering that day, and it just so happened that I ran my hands underneath my breast and I felt a lump under my left breast. And, you know, I think I have done monthly exams before. Let me just zoom you in a little bit so you can see better. I have done monthly exams before, so I know what my breasts feel like. And all the time I would say, like, well, how do you know? How do you know? How are you going to know? How do you know? That's the question constantly. And the doctor would always say, you're going to know. You're going to know. It's different. You're going to know. And I cannot stress that enough. You will absolutely know. It basically felt like a rock. That's what it felt like. It was just very, very hard. So for me, it was, I knew something was wrong. I knew there was something different in the way my breasts felt that day. And as soon as I finished up with the shower, I called my doctor. I said, look, I think I found a lump in my breast. And I think I went in that same day, again, because I was out pretty early. And, you know, the doctor did a breast exam and told me, yeah, I think there might be something there. Let's go ahead and get you set up for tests, you know. And at 37, you know, who the hell's thinking they could potentially have breast cancer? And not only that, there was no family history at all of breast cancer. I have had relatives that have died of some sort of cancer, but not breast cancer. And so I want to say maybe the next day or like on a Monday, I forget what day it was that I actually went to the doctor. I want to say it was like a Thursday or Friday. So it was either the next day or in a few days after that, I went in for a mammogram. And they said, we want to do an ultrasound as well. And I said, fine, you know, do what you got to do. And of course, you're sitting there like, holy shit, what the hell? But it was like in my mind, I kind of knew. Again, it just, you know, it was one of those things where the lump was big and it was extremely hard. I just knew that there was something off. And they did the ultrasound, they did the mammogram, and said, yeah, it looks, you know, it looks suspect. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a biopsy. Of course, they want to be 100% sure. And I said, absolutely, do what you have to do. So I am just going to go ahead and use the number covers or the numbers that are here for the days. And I said, nope, you know, do what you have to do. That's absolutely fine. And so they did the biopsy and, you know, it was found that I did have breast cancer. Now, what I had exactly was, I want to say it was called ductal carcinoma. And basically the cancer that I had started in my milk duct. And it was an estrogen-driven or estrogen-based cancer. So, okay, so I go and see an oncologist. And an oncologist, was it? I forget. Or a surgeon, a breast surgeon, you know, to talk about my options. And she said, we want to do the BRCA test. And basically what that is, I forget what it stands for. What I'll do is I'll put down information like National, you know, Cancer Society information, and also what BRCA means in the description bar below, so at least you have that basic information. But it just basically, the test finds if you are positive for the BRCA gene, you have an extremely elevated chance, if you don't now, or, you know, if you do now, of getting breast cancer or getting it again. So we went through that. I was negative for it, which is good. My sister actually, the doctor told me, have your sister get tested, because even though your mom doesn't have it or that sort of thing, nobody's ever been tested, so have her test. She tested and she was fine. So let's see, I'm going to move on to my full boxes here. And let me grab these. I'll worry about the sidebar, well, overall the sidebar later. I'm going to start with that. And so we have 8 here. I'm going to put the Fight Like a Girl over here in this box. And so So my sister got tested and she was absolutely fine, no issues with the BRCA or anything like that. And so anyway, so they tested me, I was negative, and you know, the doctor or the surgeon talked to me about my options, and you know, she said, I don't necessarily recommend a mastectomy, right? Yeah, mastectomy. But it's up to you. It's absolutely up to you. She says what you have is operable, and you know, but again, it's your choice. And you know, thinking about it, I said, no, if we can get it out, let's do that. But I will tell you, if I had tested positive for the BRCA gene, I would certainly have gotten a mastectomy, and more than likely a double mastectomy, and gotten reconstruction. A woman I know tested positive for the BRCA gene. She had breast cancer and she did get a double mastectomy. Her treatment was much more invasive than mine. She went through you know, much more than I did, and I'll talk about my treatment shortly. So anyway, so I decided to get the lumpectomy. So they were just going to go in, remove what they needed to remove, and then I would have some treatment. I would more than likely just get radiation. So I went in for the surgery. Like I said, that was October 4th, and this October 4th is going to be 5 years that that's happened. And when they went in there, you know, and took the lump out, they have to measure it, and that kind of tells you how far along you are. I was stage 2 advanced, I guess, if you will. The lump itself was almost 3 centimeters, I want to say. I hope that form of measurement is correct. Again, it's been so many years, but I'm almost positive it was almost 3 centimeters. And so she said, well, you know, when we went in there, it was bigger than we had expected, so we want you to get some chemo. I said, okay. And she said, we're going to get you in for 4 sessions. You're going to go in every 3 weeks and get chemo. And I said, okay, that's fine. Let's do what we got to do. And I did that. And the first time I went, the place I went to, which is the Gray Cancer Center in Hartford, Connecticut, I have to shout them out because they were amazing to me, absolutely amazing. The doctors were wonderful. The nurse, my nurse that I had, and I forget her name, she was just such a doll, like just a great person. And so the first time I went, you're able to bring, you know, someone with you, of course, if you want. And that first day I brought my husband, my sister, and my best friend with me. They put you in a room by yourself. You're in like in a Barca-lounger type of situation. And you know, they explain everything and hook you up. So you're obviously getting this by IV. And what they do is, or well, what they did for me, I'm not going to say what they do. What they did for me is they give you some sort of like a Benadryl type of thing in case you are allergic to any of the medications that you're about to get. So I got super duper sleepy, like super duper sleepy. And so, you know, we did that the first day, and the next day, so I would get chemo, and then the next day I would need to get a shot, and I forgot what the hell the name of it is, to boost my immune system. I want to do black here to kind of break up this pink, to boost my white blood cells, because if you're getting chemo a lot, that's why people get so sick, you know, just don't feel well overall. It's because the white blood count, if memory serves, is just, you know, obviously being compromised. And so I would have to go in the next day to get this shot. And I believe, if memory serves, you can only get it if you're not going, you know, several times a week, because this shot that they give you is no joke. So the first time I got it, went in, they give a shot, you know, like on the side of the upper arm. Okay, fine. That night when I woke up, or like I woke up in the middle of the night, not even in that time. I went to work the next day. For lunch, I had to sleep. I went downstairs to an empty office in our building because we had the whole building, and I slept, and I had the chills and my body was hurting and I just felt sick. So I said, you know, I really need to go home, and they knew what was going on. They're like, absolutely, you know, do what you have to do. So, you know, I called the doctor. I said, what the hell is going on? So they said, well, the shot, what happens is that it works. It gets into your bone marrow and it works that way out. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, that's why you're in so much pain. I said, okay, great, fabulous. That's okay, fine. So I kept on, you know, with the treatment, of course. So I'd go back 3 weeks later, get the chemo, and then the next day get the shot, you know. And so at that point, I knew that I would have to be out. Not the day I got the shot, and I think I may have said that wrong when I went to work. So I'd be out the day I had chemo, of course, because I'd be there for like 4 hours. I was probably hooked up to the IV about 4 hours, where they gave me the Benadryl, they gave me the medication, which was Taxotere, I believe. And so I was in there for, you know, I was getting it for several hours, the chemotherapy. And then the next day, I'd leave work early, get the shot. But the day after the shot, I started taking the day off. Every time I got the shot, if I woke up in the middle of the night, my skin hurt so badly that the blankets used to hurt. That's how bad it was. The blanket couldn't touch me. I couldn't touch my skin. I used to be crying in the middle of the night because of the pain. It was crazy. But again, they said, you know, it works. It's kind of this jolt to your system, so you're going to be in pain. I'm just trying to figure out here what I want to do with my to-dos here. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do to-dos up there. Do I have work? I'm just looking to see if I have work scripts here, because if I have work scripts here, which I think I do, yeah. All right, so I'm going to put some of the blank ones. There's only 4 that are, I'm trying to see those that are going to fit well up top. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. All right, so let's do these 4 across. Actually, let's use the big ones. It'll come down a little bit, but that's okay. So after that, I started doing that, you know, the day, they already knew the day after chemo, I'd go to work. I was only working part-time, I believe. And then I was going to leave early because I had to go back into Hartford from Brantford to get my, you know, that shot. And the next day, they just knew I wasn't going to be in. I would just take the day off after that. But they were extremely supportive, understanding, of course, just really, really good with everything. So that was going on during chemo. And I got chemo right before Thanksgiving. And people were like, no, don't get it before Thanksgiving because your taste buds suffer horrendously when you get chemo. So bad, it's not even funny. You can't taste anything. Everything tastes like wet cotton. It's crap. And I'm like, no, I want to get this started because I wanna be finished with it. And I remember that Thanksgiving we had it at our house or at a condo before we moved here. And we had a lot of people over. We had my sister, her family, my husband's family, my brother came by. I think for Saturday and Sunday I'm gonna put different headers up top just because it's the weekend. And I like these, so I'm going to do these. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'll match what I have on the full box here. And so anyway, so we had Thanksgiving dinner. I hardly ate a thing because I couldn't really taste anything. And I was on the couch like just knocked out, and you know, everybody's like, let her sleep, and you know, I was out. I was just completely out. Actually, you know what? We're gonna use the same one. Is this the same size? I'm just gonna use that one. And so I was knocked out on the couch, and I remember that my sister and my brother went to go get new cell phones because of course everything now opens on frickin' Thanksgiving evening instead of waiting for, you know, Black Friday. And so she's like, the deals are just really, really good. I'm like, go ahead, do what you gotta do, don't worry. And that's, you know, that's okay. And I was knocked out on the couch anyway. She's like, we'll be back. And, you know, they went and did that. Actually, I think 2 of these will measure 1 of these, so we're going to do that. Sorry, my dog's down here and he's chuffing at everything. And so, you know, that was that. And I went through, so it was November, December, January, February that I did chemo. And then after that, they gave me like a month off, and I then went into radiation. Radiation is the strangest thing ever in the world, and I'm going to tell you why. I would, you know, go to the clinic to get the radiation. I'd get undressed. I'd get into like a hospital gown. I'd go into a room. They would mark my breast where the, like the beam of radiation was going to hit me, or, you know, treat, whatever, however you want to put it. And since I have my work scripts here too, I'm just going to start popping them down so we can just keep moving. And they would do that. They would like prop my breast up in certain ways, and it was so weird. And then they would all, and my mom always laughs because I always say this, I'm like, everybody would run out of the room. I mean, they really wouldn't run out of the room, but, you know, they'd go into their, I'd be in the room by myself because it was, for the love of God, radiation, you know? But it's so funny because the radiation, the actual treatment, took all of less than 1 minute. No exaggeration, less than 60 seconds. It took me longer to get undressed and took me longer to get dressed again than it took me to get the treatment, you know? And I had to do that I had to go daily for 30 sessions. So basically a month. And I got through 3 weeks of it, and my skin, I mean, it's radiation, you're literally burning your skin, was starting to come off. And I know that sounds so gross. It was gross, trust me, I went through it. And it wasn't like coming off in pieces, but I had a lot of peeling, and, you know, just to the point that they said, let's let you heal, and we'll check back in a week. Why did I put work on Saturday? Jeez Louise, this is what I get for talking so much. Did that come up okay? Yeah, that came up okay. Not too bad. And she said, you know, we're going to let you heal because your skin is just, it's, you know, it's not looking good. And so I said, okay, that's fine. So I went back a week later. Skin really wasn't healed the way they wanted it. In fact, I was putting pads, these pads that they gave me to help the skin, that they would give like 3rd-degree burn victims. That's how bad it was. So I did that. I came back. I think it wasn't even until 3 weeks later that they finally were like, okay, we can restart. And I only had a week left, or 5 minutes of treatment. Literally, that's what it was. So radiation was 30 minutes of treatment. It was worse for me than chemo. I was knocked on my ass the whole time. I was on Percocet basically for almost a year, because they give it to you when you're going through chemo, and they give it to you when you're going through radiation for any body pain. And then, of course, you have to do things to not get constipated because of the, you know, the Percocets and all this kind of stuff. All right, so let's see. So Thursday is payday, which is always exciting. So let me mark that down. And I don't know if I want to layer that or not. I don't think I'm going to, only because the sticker itself is very, very cute. This is from Tasseled Planner. This is a payday sticker sheet. I'm just going to grab the darker pink down here. You know what? Hold on a second, because this has, well, you know what? I don't care. I don't mind mixing my metallics. This is silver, but I don't really care. So we're just going to put that, I don't know, do I want to layer it? Just seems like it's just hanging out there, blowing in the wind, doing nothing. When you're trying to figure things out, right? And it's like, it should not be this difficult. And yet, it is. Alright, you know what? We're going to layer on one of these. Why not? It fits. So, what do we have there? Do we have any of that? We don't, so we'll use this one. Actually, I want to use a darker pink, so let's do that one. So yeah, so I finished my radiation, and then, you know, I had to go see the oncologist for follow-up, you know, and I was seeing him throughout the treatment anyway, but then they obviously want to start me on oral medication, and what that's called is tamoxifen, and basically it's kind of chemo in a pill, if you will. Nowhere near the intensity of what you're getting in your veins, but it's still chemo in a pill. And I want to put down half boxes for Saturday and Sunday because, as you guys know, actually, you know what? I'm going to put down 2 of these 3-heart checklist boxes. And I want to put a lighter one. We'll put that down here. And then a darker one over here. And so I've been on the oral medication going on 4 years, I think now. So I always say I'm in remission for I've been in remission for almost 4 years because I had the surgery 5 years ago. And another thing that happened during the surgery, I'm backtracking a bit, but another thing that happened during the surgery is that they needed to check my lymph nodes. Now, basically, the progression, as it was explained to me, of breast cancer is it starts in the breast, and if it travels along the body, it's going to travel into the lymph nodes. So they have basically discovered or realized that they can test the lymph nodes. If it's in the lymph nodes, then that means it obviously is spreading, and it's a good chance that it's spread other places. Many years before that surgery, got a breast lift. I had lost a lot of weight, and I had breastfed my son. So once I lost all that weight, it was like flabby dabby city. It was bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting a breast lift, and that's it. So I got a breast lift. It was great, expensive, but it, you know, it really was good because I lost so much weight. Like, I can't even tell you how much. It was 60 pounds, 65 pounds. I got down to like 120 or 22 pounds. So I was very, very thin. And so she says, you know, she knew this, my surgeon, and she says, okay, if we go in there, we only take a couple of lymph nodes to test. She says, but if we go in there and we find that we can't see what we need to see, we're gonna have to take out more. So here's an example for you. All right, so the Hello Weekend banner, let me see. I had pulled, I'll just use the weekend banner from the kit. So let's say you have, I don't know, 25 lymph nodes. Great, and I ripped it. 25 lymph nodes. They took out 23. They were supposed to take out, let's say, okay, if you have 25, they take out 3. They took out about 23. They basically left me with no lymph nodes. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put the Hello Weekend banner. I'm going to layer this across this right here. And because of that, I did end up getting lymphedema. And what happens is the lymphatic system helps to move. It's not necessarily liquid or water, but it just helps the system move things so you're not getting swollen in certain areas. So with that gone, my lymphatic system was completely going haywire. And, sorry, my dog's going cuckoo nuts over here. Because of that, let me see, how big do these cover the whole thing? They don't. Fabulous. So because of that, I did get lymphedema, and I was so swollen in my left arm and hands that my left hand, and no exaggeration, was as fat as a boxing glove. It was horrendous. My surgeon did tell me that not everyone gets lymphedema. It's a, you know, it's a small percentage that don't, but more that do. And so, you know, I was like, oh, good, I haven't gotten anything yet, and this is awesome. And then all of a sudden, it's like, boom, there you go, got lymphedema, girl. And so I had to go to PT because they give you massages to kind of basically get the lymphatic system in the rest of the body doing the job that that portion of your body cannot. So I went to PT, I think, for about 6 months, and I think I want to use this washi. So that's the washi that I'm going to be using on the sidebar there. That is a collaboration between Simply Gilded and the Planner Sophisticate. So I was getting the PT. I got that, like I said, for about maybe even longer than 6 months, I think. I got it as long as, you know, they could do. And, you know, they finally discharged me. And so, you know, I was fine with that. Let me do it over so I can, oh, let me wipe this out. And that really did help to lessen everything. I also had to wear a, oh God, it's not called a constriction thing. I forget what the hell they're called. But basically it was a wrap to just keep everything tight so that it wouldn't blow up. And I did that for a very long time, and that worked for me very, very well. And so after all was said and done, you know, I'm still a little swollen there, not to the point that I was, nowhere near to the point that I was. And now I've been losing some weight as well, so it's going down even further. But my fingers were swollen to the point where I couldn't wear my wedding ring on that hand. I had to wear it on the right hand because it was just too big. It was just completely swollen. And in fact, we had my wedding ring set sized up twice because I was just so swollen. Again, I am seeing a decrease in that and have been slowly but surely. But I will tell you that my arm, my left arm, where they did the surgery and the lymph nodes and all that stuff, is still numb. If you know how it is when you're laying on a piece of your body too long and get up and you have like these pins and needles feeling, I have that. Very low wattage type of situation daily, but if I touch it or poke it, you could feel it. That's what it feels like. So that has been, and the doctor said you're going to be feeling like that for the rest of your life. It just is what it is with that situation. So, you know, we got past that and whatever, and I'm still on my medication. I have recently learned that, what else do we have here? I'm trying to start doing dinners for like a dinner menu for the week so that we're not constantly eating out. And I think I want to do that for the sidebar, but I'm trying to, dinners, there we go. So recently I saw a report that oncologists are asking some of their patients to stay on the tamoxifen for longer than 5 years. The normal amount of time that someone is on tamoxifen is 5 years. But what they're finding is that those that stay on it for 10 years have a smaller chance of getting cancer again. You know, and it's funny, when I saw that, I was only like 3 years in, and I'm like thinking about it because I'm like, okay, so this tamoxifen, it stops the, how should I say it, the estrogen. So that brings with it a whole other set of problems, female problems. And, you know, if you don't have estrogen, there's all kinds of things going haywire. But I always thought that, I said, okay, when I finish my treatment, what's going to happen? Because estrogen is going to start flowing again. I'm only 42 right now. And, you know, what am I going to do? And again, this was before I saw this report. So I haven't seen my oncologist yet, and I'm not at the 5-year mark yet. But, you know, it's one of those things where you're so tired of being on something. There are obviously side effects that go along with being on this medication. You know, one of them being, or the worst being, chronic fatigue. And I remember telling my husband, you know, I'm constantly tired. You know, and I hadn't done the research as to the side effects, you know, per se, because I'm like, I have to take it. There's nothing I'm going to be able to say or do. I mean, I don't have to take it, but then we could have issues again. And let me see what else I want to do for. So that's dinners, and I think I put down the wrong thing. Did I? I did. I put down a checklist instead of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let me see if I can lift up this and change that, and then I can put that down at the bottom. And I can't because that's going to rip the paper. Fine, we'll just write it in there. That's fine. We know there's, what is it? There's 6 days at least there. That's fine. And let's see. I want to do a this week there, though, and then we'll do one of the sidebar weeklies. And so the chronic fatigue, and you know, I'm telling my husband, I'm like, I'm always tired. Like, I'm always tired. It's something different. It's not. And of course, I started going all the way to the side here. Bring it in a bit. And I finally saw the video that they were talking about people, you know, staying on for longer. And a woman, I forget her age, but she says, you know, I feel like I'm 90 years old. I'm constantly tired, constantly fatigued, constantly, you know, sleeping or don't have any energy. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize this medication had that type of, you know, side effect. And again, it's one of the main ones. Another one is that you can have an early onset of menopause. And I do have hot flashes. I do get horrible hot flashes in the summer. But of course, I'm still getting my period. Yeah, TMI, but I'm pissed about that because, like, if you're gonna give me early onset menopause, then that shit better go too. I don't want my period. I don't want to bleed every week. I mean, every month. And there are actually some months that I don't, but for the most part, I still have it. I'm pretty regular with it. And so, you know, of course, I'm like, son of a bitch, if I'm gonna go into menopause, take that with it too. But you know, so you're fatigued, you have the hot flashes, you have mood swings, you have, you know, things down in the nether region that I'm not going to get into. And I remember one time I was like, what the hell with this? And I went to go see my OBGYN, and he told me, he said, listen, you're not only not getting, you know, estrogen to all of your body, you're not getting estrogen down here either. So there's certain things that are gonna change because of that fact, which of course I was like, yeah, of course it is, you know. Like, give me something else that I've got to deal with this. But I'll tell you what, with the treatment and all that, like, that kind of part of the story is over. Oh my gosh, this is so me. You see that? Oh, Lord have mercy. That is so me. Starting here, I'm over here. Overall, when it finally came to be that I was, you know, properly diagnosed and, you know, I knew I had breast cancer, I never, ever, ever, not for 1 second, ever saw myself as a victim. I never saw myself as, I'm going to use this little sticker here. It says, ugh, it's Monday. It is so adorable. I never saw myself as a victim. I never saw myself as a statistic. And I never, ever thought that I was going to die. I never did. Even when they came back and told me, you're higher up, you know, in the stages than what we thought, never, not once, did I think that I wasn't going to make it. Ever. Literally, ever. And I went through what I had to go through with my treatment, and it was what it was. Like, I can't, you know, I had to go through it. There were hard-ass days. There were hard-ass nights. This sticker sheet I'm taking from a Happy Planner sticker book, and I like the celebrating this and the balloons, so I'm definitely going to use that because I do celebrate the fact that I am in remission and I am healthy, you know. I'm lucky. But again, I never saw myself as a victim at any point in my treatment. Let's see. I guess we can put that right there. That's fine. And that's the way I went through my treatment. I saw myself as a survivor. I knew that I just needed to get what I needed to do, you know, get the treatment that I needed to get. And it was done, and it was over with, and it was fine, and I was going to make it. I never, ever thought anything different than that. So here I am, you know, 5 years later, or almost 5 years later, I'm still here. And, you know, it is what it is. There's just nothing. I'm going to grab this balloon from the deco sheet and put it on the day that I got my surgery. you know, another thing is the thing of how old you are. You know, like I said, I was only 37, so I was very, very young when I got it. And, you know, it was a shock, of course, because who the hell thinks that they're going to get cancer at that young, you know, but it was what it was. So I know I'm going to be getting Happy Mail on Monday as well. So even though it's Monday, I'm happy because I'm getting some Happy Mail. So I do want to layer that, though. I got a lot of nice strips here of washi, so I do want to use these. And we'll use one of these since it matches the full box. And then I'm just going to layer the Happy Meal sticker. So I'll do that. We actually have two. I have this sheet from Paper Blush Bar that has the Happy Meal envelopes, but I do have a Happy Meal sticker here, and I do like that, so I'm going to use that instead of the Paper Blush Bar. I'll save those, and I'll use this one, and I'll just put that right there. So we're gonna get Happy Meal there, and then actually on Thursday, a place in one of the towns that is not horrendously close to me, but still kind of close, has every year a pink party. And that is, you know, you can, basically they're trying to raise money for breast cancer awareness. They do a fashion show. They have, you know, food vendors. It's in an awesome shopping center. So everything's outside, like an outside shopping mall. So you can shop. People do discounts. You can buy raffle tickets. I went one year, several years ago. I think it was like the year after my surgery. And I won a really, really nice prize. So I do want to go there that day. So I do want to mark that somehow. I think I'm going to use a flag because they're small, and then we can mark that. So let's see what we have here. Do we have any parties, something or others? No, let's guess. Okay. So we're going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it right here so I can, should I layer? I think I'm going to layer another one of these. I'll layer a darker pink one. Yeah, because I can put that kind of in the middle and still leave a little space. And then we'll mark it. Let's see what I've got here. What do I got here? Oh, and I have some florals too that I want to use. You know what? I think I'm just going to use one of these really pretty bow clips from a freebie that I got from Planning World, and I'm going to use the pink one there just to mark that. And let's see, we'll just put it right there. So layered all over the place. So that, yeah, they do that every year, which is really, really nice. And then I am going to be planning, actually, let's see. I grabbed this sheet from Planning World. This is foiled functional sheet, which is shop. So it has a bunch of shop functional stickers there. You have a bag, a cart, and then like a list. So I want to do the list one. And I'm just going to grab that off of there, and I'm going to layer that right there. So that sticker sheet is good and done, and the Happy Meal is good and done. And actually, I have Happy Meal coming all next week, so I'm going to mark that as well on another day, because I do have another Happy Meal sticker. So I'm going to take, I kind of want to layer that, but I'm thinking about what the hell I'm going to layer it on. Let me see what I've got here. Yeah, I'll just layer it on a flag. So yeah, so I want to go this year. It's on a payday, which is always good, because then I have a little money to shop, and I have some money for the raffles and that sort of thing, which is, again, always a good time. But it's just nice to see everybody out, and, you know, survivors and those that help people who are going through it, and all that good stuff. So it is a very, very nice time. All right, so let's see. Monday is work. Tuesday, trying to think. Wednesday, I definitely, actually Tuesday I have to upload stuff onto YouTube. So let's see, I'm just looking at the little things here, seeing if there's anything there. I'm going to use a quarter box for Tuesday, and then one for Wednesday because I have to film as well on Wednesday. All right, so I'm just putting down the to-dos here for filming, and I'm going to stagger these just so that they're not right next to each other. All right, so that's that. This kit really has a lot of stuff. Like, I'm going to have so much stuff left to use another time, which is super duper nice. I also want to grab one little coffee cup because I like putting down coffee cups. This one is from Magic Prince Co. As you can see, I've used this before, and these are in rose gold. So I'm just going to put this down on Wednesday because a girl has to work. All right. And the weekend stuff, we're not going to use that. So let me just see what else is going on, if anything. So we've got the pink party that day. Put down a couple of things. And I think I'll put down a today header because I've already got 2 to-dos. And I'm going to put down a quarter box there. So what did I say I was going to put down today? So we'll put today. All right. All right. Now I'm going to put down this quarter box. I'm going to stagger that just so everything is not so close together. All right, so there's that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to write what I need to write in, and then we can come back and do a little more of the deco for any white space that I may not need to fill out. So let me go ahead and write the stuff in off camera and I'll be back. So I've written everything that I need to do as far as today goes, like knowing what I need to do for next week, some reminders. I did just like bills to pay over here, and then what I did here, I had dinners, but it just was driving me nuts because I wasn't going to put dinners there as opposed to doing it the Monday through Sunday. So I just put a to-do strip there instead, and then using this week for my weekly menu. So what I want to do is grab a couple of florals and some deco to just kind of spiff this up a bit. There's really nothing that I do on Mondays as far as YouTube because I upload my plan with me's on Sunday and then do other things throughout the week. So I am going to use a floral decoration. Let me see if this is how long this is. This is from, oh God, what book is this? I want to say it's a Heidi Swapp book. Actually, how big is that? That may be a little too big, although I may do it anyway. So I just want to put that here because it's cut beautifully for like against something. Oh, that looks great. Love that. Very, very pretty. And then we have some smaller, lighter pink ones. So I want to pull those in. And let's see here. I want to stick them where I'm going to be able to see them. Put that right down there on Friday. And then we have a rose here. So this is obviously going to be a very long plan with me, especially because I was talking about my cancer situation there, but hopefully you guys have made it this far. And if you are still here, thank you so much for being here. I know sometimes after I just like, oh, get on with it. Even I'm like that sometimes about myself. We get a lot going on that day, Thursday, but I like just that little cluster of pink and all that nice stuff there. And let's see here. Maybe I can put this. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to think. I can put this over here. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And then I'll just pop some of these small ones around it. I always say it, but I love clear stickers because they're so so easy to layer. It's really, really simple to do that. All right, I'm gonna grab this one here. See where I can put this out. there. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to grab the Happy Planner sticker sheet again. And you know how I did this celebrating this and the balloons? I have 2 more of those, so I think I'm just going to do the same here so it looks even on both sides. And I was kind of looking at the sheet, I was like, oh yeah, I can totally do that here. So I'm going to put that down there, and then I'm going to grab the other little bouquet of pink balloons, and we're going to put that over here. So that is it for that sticker sheet, and I think I'm done with the florals as well. And then I do want to grab this White Deer Stationery sticker sheet. This is basically foiled icons, and this is in the bunny colorway. So I'm going to grab the pink one. I'm going to grab the garbage can one because I do have just a reminder to take out the garbage on Sunday. And then for Saturday, I just want to mark down, I have to film that day. So I'm just going to grab the same, from the same sticker sheet, the pink one with the camera there, and just layer that right there. And I want to do something here too as well. Actually, I have to work that day, or not work that day. Well, I do have to work that day, but just something for planners. So I'm going to go into the little freebie sheet that I got. There's a little desktop there with the pink breast cancer awareness ribbon. So I'm just going to put that there to mark that. And let's see, I am going to go back into the floral sticker sheet just to add a little something there. And all right, what about Tuesday? Something needs to give for that because it just looks so forgotten. So I may go back into the, you know what, we'll grab this one because it's not horrendously big, but it'll still cover up enough. Right in the middle is absolutely fine. I have no problems with that. It's just to fill up that space, you know. But I think that that's going to do it. That is pretty much the week, and you know, I'll fill out some of the stuff here on the side as the week progresses. But overall, this is what my week looks like as far as Happy Meal, what I want to do for YouTube, what I need to do for YouTube in the weekend, payday and shopping and that sort of thing. So that's going to do it. I really like the way this came out. And again, if you've stuck with me this long in this video, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to my story. You know, all I can say is never give up. If you are going through breast cancer now, if you've gone through breast cancer, if you're helping someone who's going through breast cancer, whether, you know, if you've known someone and they're a survivor or not, you never, they're always close to your heart. They're always in your mind. And, you know, this right here, this sticker, it says it perfectly. It says supporting the fighters, admiring the survivors, honoring the taken, and you never ever give up hope. And that is one of the things I can say is you never ever give up hope. You keep fighting until they say you're good, you're done, it's gone. And that's the way I felt for my journey, is that I was just going to keep fighting until I won that battle. Again, I never saw myself as a victim, and I never thought I was going to be a statistic. So I'm very lucky in that way to have felt that. I'm very lucky as well to not have needed so much treatment, although nurses and doctors say you're still going through a lot. But you know, I would sit there for a couple of hours once every 3 weeks, and there were people in that room with ports in their chest because they were there several times a week. So I was, even through all of that, I was counting my blessings, because what I needed to get done wasn't anywhere near as bad as some people. So I always kept that in my mind, that I was very, very lucky still having to go through chemo and radiation. I was still very, very lucky to not to just need what I needed, basically, and you know, I never lost sight of that throughout the entire thing. So thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me, more than a few minutes. I hope you grab a snack, but you know, as always, it's always appreciated you watching my videos, and I really hope that this plan with me, for you, you know, you took perhaps something away from it. But again, thank you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Also, click that little bell so you get alerted as to whenever I upload new content. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.